The propaganda puppets are warning you to be cautious of misinformation. Coming up on Kristi Leigh's Daily Brief, clarifying where the real misinfo is coming from and who could be held accountable. Plus, a woman is facing jail time for telling the scientific truth, and concerns over TikTok spying on behalf of the CCP are heightening. Also, the Washington Post keeps getting caught making media mistakes, but they see corrections and retractions as optional now. Starting today with this new band, the Propaganda Parrots.
You'll want to be even more cautious when reading about COVID on Twitter.
Be extra cautious when you're looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Be cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Be extra cautious while looking for health information in the Twitterverse.
Maybe this is what we're supposed to be cautious about. Dr. Anthony Fauci told us we were out of the pandemic phase in April, only to now, flip-flop, you don't stop, back to we are still in the middle of a pandemic. He's also back to asking people to mask up, after he mocked mask wearing at the beginning of this whole mess. Dr. Fauci gave this warning during a recent interview while Elon Musk has been mocking him on Twitter. After saying his pronouns are prosecute Fauci, he's shared this meme inspired by Lord of the Rings, Fauci whispering to Biden, "Just one more lockdown, my king." Fauci says he doesn't pay attention to the criticism, but he may need to pay attention to this. House Republicans are demanding testimony from Biden officials and experts on COVID-19 origins regarding the virus research in Wuhan, according to Fox News. They have listed 40 officials who should expect to appear. Chief among those expected to testify is Dr. Fauci. But Musk is facing criticism of his own. The left is calling him dangerous for tweeting a white rabbit emoji. This PhD took the emoji as a sign Elon is encouraging 120 million people to join a domestic terrorist group, making reference to QAnon, which doesn't exist, by the way. For anyone that entertains that, there's Q and there's Anons. QAnon is just a made-up word. Vice News even went as far as to claim to know what Elon Musk meant by the tweet. They're mind readers now. Tucker Carlson is calling on Elon Musk to release docs he says will show Twitter acted as an arm of government intel agencies.
For some reason, Twitter seemed to need an awful lot of spies. The upper ranks of Twitter, we now know, were absolutely loaded with people who once did intel work for government agencies. At least 15 of these people, and possibly many more. Most of them were hired in the wake of Donald Trump's election. Now, what were these people doing all day at what was supposedly a social media company? Well, that's the question, isn't it?
The conservative war with mainstream media continues. President Donald Trump is now suing the Pulitzer Prize Board. He claims the 2018 award went to media outlets that lied to Americans in their Russiagate coverage. The lawsuit describes the board's decision to award the Times and the Post as having been based on a demonstrably false connection. Fox News is reporting that Trump is requesting damages from the board in an amount to be proven at trial.
Some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
If you stray from the approved narrative in Norway, you could face time behind bars. A Norwegian woman faces a prison term for criminal transphobia after claiming men cannot be lesbians, according to Sputnik News. Here's what the lesbian artist posted on Facebook. It's just as impossible for men to become lesbian as it is for men to become pregnant. Men are men regardless of their sexual fetishes. The artist explained that her post was motivated by a desire to bring attention to Norway's hate speech law, which was changed in 2020, making hate speech against transgenders illegal. She told the truth, but now there's an effort to redefine the truth. The Cambridge Dictionary has now altered the meaning of man and woman to include people who identify as a gender rather than their biological sex. Dan McLaughlin, a senior writer at National Review, argued the change is Orwellian. 1984 wasn't supposed to be a how-to manual, he tweeted. The push to disregard biological differences is causing challenges in sports. NHL-backed Team Trans illustrates this problem with men and women's sports, according to the Washington Examiner. In the Team Trans ice hockey Kentucky draft, a transgender woman, a biological man, gave a transgender man, a biological woman, a concussion-inducing hit during one of the games. Media coverage largely ignored the incident because it acknowledges the obvious to rational people. Men should not be allowed to compete in women's sports because biologically, men have an advantage in terms of athletic ability, but also in their ability to hurt smaller, weaker players. Bipartisan lawmakers are introducing legislation to ban TikTok over a threat of Chinese communist spying, according to The Blaze. The app is used by about 80 million people in the U.S., but is owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company with very close ties to the communist government. Experts say the application is invasive and collects far more information from users' cell phones than other social media apps. A TikTok spokesperson says the legislation is politically motivated and steps are being taken to further secure the platform. Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, one of the sponsors of the bill, says the app is used to manipulate feeds and influence elections. Quote, "There is no more time to waste on meaningless negotiations with a CCP puppet company." The Washington Post just can't seem to get it right. Most recently, it was forced to correct an op-ed about no black players on the Argentina soccer team. "Why doesn't Argentina have more black players in the World Cup?" read the headline of the op-ed. University of Texas professor Erica Denise Edwards wrote that the idea of Argentina as a white nation was inaccurate, and that attempts to portray it as such were part of a longer history of black erasure at the heart of the country's self-definition. She said that 1/3 of the population used to be black, and now it's at 1%. WAPO had to correct that statement and say the actual number was far less than 1%. Twitter observers noted the reason for the demographic shift: Argentina was a popular destination for European immigrants beginning in the second half of the 19th century. This media mistake comes shortly after WAPO's Twitter Files coverage referring to Matt Taibbi and Barry Weiss as conservative journalists. When called out for its inaccurate attempt to slant the story, the Washington Post quietly removed the adjective with no correction. So to sum up, the media sings a chorus of warning about medical misinfo on Twitter, while House Republicans are gearing up to hold the real misinfo culprits accountable. They're also bringing legislation to ban TikTok, accusing it of CCP spying. Here we are, 1984. Dictionaries are bending to definition relativism, and if you don't toe the line, you could end up in jail. And media mistrust will just continue to get worse as some mistakes aren't even acknowledged. To learn more, be sure to go to AmericanFaith.com and subscribe to our daily newsletter. For American Faith, I'm Kristi.